Whoa, let's get it on. Oh, hell no. Now look to him. Hell yeah. Order. Those pancakes were the only thing that we ate that night. Can I get a hell yeah?
Hi, can I order tea and 2 sugars, please?
Hello guys and welcome back to Tea and 2 Sugars. I'm Tatty, your host who comes to you with the most energy and also the least energy, I fear, this morning. I have had such a productive day so far. I've filmed 4 videos. I've been on a walk. I had to go on a walk because I fear I've got an addiction to fast food and I was craving it, so I made myself go on a walk to curb the craving. Didn't really work. So here I am. I've got a protein shake in the cup today, which we'll talk more about in a little second. Oh, what a lovely... And the sun is not shining this morning, which it does make you feel a lot different when the sun's out. I personally don't feel like I struggle with seasonal depression or anything like that. However, there is a definite mood boost, isn't there, when the sun's out? I feel like everyone's just a lot nicer to each other. I've started going, these walks I'm doing, I've noticed something, right? Does anyone remember back in the day when you'd go on a walk with your parents, you do a little, hiya, UK, hiya, UK. To anyone you walk past, everyone now just heads down. Where's the sense of community anymore? And it's such a shame because I'm smiling. It's the elder generation. And they're the ones that are supposed to be continuing on with the trends. So that's one thing I've noticed. It was fucking cold this morning, 13 degrees. We're just going to crack straight into it today, guys. This week's looking a little bit funny because I'm going on holiday a lot in June, which is a fantastic thing to be experiencing. But it does mean that a couple of these episodes are going to be pre-filmed. So if my boiling points and my 2 sugars for the next few weeks are a little bit scattered and don't really make that much sense, that is why I'm filming all the episodes this week. I'm super excited. So I'm going to Ibiza with my Steve, with Jordan, at the end of the month. We are home for 4 days. I go to the Maldives. Have I said that I'm going to the Maldives? What the living fuck? I think I did say that last week. For 2 weeks, we have booked it. I think I'd mentioned about Jordan's passport. The passport did arrive. We're all good to go. He will live to see another day. And then I'm home for 4 days and then I go to Ibiza again with the girls. We're doing our second annual Ibiza girls trip and I am super excited. I cannot wait. So I'm just being a preempting queen. That's why I'm filming so much content at the minute. I also had planned to have my hair down today. So sorry about that. I really am so sorry about that. I had time blocked, but the walk threw me off. That was supposed to be, shit happens and you just got to do what you got to do. So here we are. I have done a little parting for you all today so you can see that I do in fact have brown hair. A lot of people think I'm blonde, which, do you think it's because I've got light eyebrows and light eyes? But people think I'm blonde. But blonde vibes. They do say blondes have more fun and I am very fun. So let's crack on with my boiling point, my 2 sugars. I'm going to start with my boiling point this week because I need to get something off my chest. Have we all seen the new TV series on Channel 4 called Virgin Island? If you have not watched this programme, I implore you to watch the first episode and then message me how far you get into that without feeling like you need to call the police on yourself or uncomfortable. This is and I know Channel 4 does some whack-ass stuff. This Virgin Island is the strangest piece of television I have ever watched. And I watched Baby Reindeer twice. Okay? If you don't know the concept, I think there's 15 virgins that go to this retreat in the Caribbean where they are met. The eldest of the virgins, this is what they call them on the show, I'm not being derogatory, of the contestants, characters, people. The eldest of the people are 30. There are sexperts, expert therapist, surrogate sex experts, which we'll get onto in a second, that can be no younger than 35. The youngest of the folks, I think, is maybe 23. It feels like we're exploiting them. I'm going to say it. And guys, they're getting them used to being touchy-feely with other people. For some people, this is the holding of a hand. Just such a simple task. For other people, one of the strangest things I have ever watched is they're on a mat, you know, like having primary school when you're doing gymnastics, pretending to be animals. And they're like, ooh, like rolling with each other. It's like some sort of weird contemporary dance, but everyone has to watch. Some of the virgins are sat crying. They're crying. Such an outpour of emotions. It's awful. And then don't even get me started, Lizzie. I was fuming. Episode 2. Lovely young man named Jason. I think the other girl's called Charlotte. Then once they've sort of got used to touching the experts and then being touched by the experts, they want them to not like sexually. It's no, and you just watch the show. Anyway, then they start getting them to like touch each other in the form of a massage. So they have like a little oil. They're just sat on the beach, which oil on a beach. Let's be real. Sunburn for one, right? We're going to cook them alive. Second of all, the sand, gritty. Don't like that. This girl, her name is Sophie, I think, is massaging this man's back. Okay? She then goes, look at these horrible stretch marks. Sophie, that's not very nice. Stretch marks, 1, are not horrible. 2, like, no wonder you're not advancing sexually, Sophie, if this is how you're going to talk about people. How fucking well, if he'd have said that to her, kicked off the show. You can't say that at all. It's not very kind. Anyway, it's the fucking weirdest thing in the world. I'm excited. It's only on Mondays and Tuesdays. So by the time this episode goes up, there will have been, 6 episodes out? Please go and watch it. Well, maybe, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it because it's one of them things where I feel like I shouldn't watch, but it's so awful. Like, not even the fact that they're virgins, it's how they're being treated by these experts. You know, it's just so bizarre. I mean, there's no shame or anything like that involved. I think that's really important to mention, but the fucking strangest thing I've ever seen. Anyway, my 2 sugars this week. I'm doing my holiday shopping at the minute. I am loving Meshki right now. My sister Lizzie, give us all a hoo-hoo. Lizzie's coming round on Friday because we're gonna have a fashion show. You know, like when you'd go holiday shopping and you'd like show your dad what you've bought. All my stuff's arriving on Friday, and Lizzie is gonna come round. I'm gonna show all of my dresses, and we're gonna have a great time. I may make snacks. Yeah, how fun is that? They've got some really, really nice stuff on at the minute, and I'm really trying to lean into my own personal style this summer. I've always for a while felt like I've dressed quite old for my age. I am 25. However, I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe it's a body thing. I don't really like wearing like mini things and tank tops and stuff like that. I've always like dressed a little bit more modestly, which obviously modesty doesn't equate to maturity or how old you feel. But they've got some really, really nice bits there at the minute, so I'm excited to try them. And my second sugar is... oh my God, I bought a fan. I bought the Shark Turbo fan. It's basically like a blade that you can put on its side so it lies horizontal to the ground and you can put it on your bed. So it like blows directly. So Jordan and I can both get air blown on us at the same time. It's incredible. It has a sleep mode. It has a timer. It can pivot. It can oscillate. It's fantastic, I tell you. Best thing I've bought in a long time. Bloody brilliant. And it's not that quiet. It's very stylish. So shout out Shark. Shout out Shark. I will say, I wish they'd have named it the Hammerhead fan. The Shark Hammerhead. They really missed an opportunity on that. So that's it for my boiling point, my 2 sugars this week. My boiling point, Virgin Island. Sugar, 1. Shark. Sugar 2, Meshki. Shout out Meshki. I also love their socials because they have the same dress on 2 different heighted people. And one of the girls, she's still like 3 centimetres shorter than me, but it's still a good visual to see. And that is that. Like I said earlier, I have a protein shake in my cup today. This is the blackcurrant clear whey protein from My Protein. I live for these. I really enjoy them. If I could have more than a fair few a day, I would. But I don't think a lot of protein in your diet is good for you. So that's that. I do like to put a little splash of apple and blackcurrant in it just to, you know how sometimes protein has a bit of an aftertaste? Just gets rid of that. First sip, best sip. Cheers. My co-host Joe is here. Ah! Joe! Oh my goodness! How long has he been there? My co-host Joe has decided to join us today. Joe, this week, has been Joe went to London. Joe went to London this week to watch a show. He saw The Book of Mormon, which some may say is my favourite show. I have seen it 7 times, and I would like to take the girls to go and see it. He found it hilarious. If you haven't seen The Book of Mormon, first of all, I apologise. It's so dark. The humour in it is so dark, but it is very, very funny. Last time I went to go and see it, a woman did leave with her 2 children halfway through. So Joe's having a great time this week. He caught some rays. Look at that banging tan he's got going on. Joe will not be doing solo episodes when I'm away, unfortunately. I don't know how well that would go down. He's a man of few words, you see. Anyway, I was diving through my inbox yesterday to have a little look through at what we've got, and I feel we're on fire this week, guys. I feel we're on fire. There's some absolutely incredible ones. So we're going to start off with this bad boy. Okie dokie, our first story of the day is titled, I never thought my ex-husband could surprise me any more than he already had, until I found out he had been living in my attic. Story time. Steve and I had been divorced for about 6 months. The marriage ended for lots of reasons, mostly because he was a little bit unhinged. He was always coming up with these bizarre ideas, such as his favourite being edible sandals. We could start a business on Etsy. You think it's all fun and games until you find beef jerky style slippers in your closet. Anyway, after the divorce, I started noticing really weird things. Food would go missing. Yeah, because he's trying to make them into shoes. That's where the food's going. The toilet would randomly flush in the middle of the night when I was home alone. And one time I found a pair of men's socks in my laundry basket. I live alone. I don't even own socks like that anymore. I genuinely started to wonder if I was losing my mind. Then my parrot, Mr. Pickles, started acting strange. He'd squawk random phrases like, Steve, get out the attic and stop eating the cookies. I thought I was imagining things. Bless the parrot. The parrot's out here trying to save lives. One night, I finally decided that I would call the police. I did feel a little bit ridiculous, but something just did not feel right. I did not feel like I was alone in the house. They searched the house, and this is when they found Steve in my attic. He had apparently been living up there for weeks. He was sneaking down through the crawl space, stealing food, and using my shower in the nighttime. They even said that he had watched TV quite a few times when I was asleep. When asked why he decided to live in my attic, Steve said that he missed me and still wanted to be close without bothering me. Hell yeah. So yeah, breaking and entering was definitely not bothering me, Steve. He was obviously arrested, and Mr. Pickles, let's just say he's the real MVP. I bought him the biggest cage I could find on Amazon. Now I double check the attic before I go to bed every night, and I taught Mr. Pickles a new phrase. Call 911. I love that for Mr. Pickles. Love that for Mr. Pickles. What a good... Fuck the safety dog. Fuck off. We don't need some barking thing round the house all the time. We need a parrot that's going to let you know eyes on the ground, you know? That must be terrifying. What's that film, Liz? What's that film about that? It's a horror film, and it's a guy that lives in the attic. Is it The Shadow Man? I think it's The Shadow Man. Steve sounds like The Shadow Man. Ooh. It's really... Was this the house that you and Steve owned together? Is this how he knew about the crawl spaces and all yada, yada, yada? Because that's even fucking weirder. If you've gone off, got your own place, been Miss Independent, which, might I say, fair fucks for leaving a marriage. It can be so hard sometimes. And you clearly had all of the validation you needed when that man... Have you seen them pictures of people when they like put the camera up in the attic and they like film and then they check the footage and there's like someone in the corner like, ooh. Does Steve have a job? I'm assuming, imagine Steve's like, I'm going to work from home today, guys. He's just sat in his ex-wife's attic taking a Zoom call. What a nutter. That's actually low-key really scary. Really, really scary. I think you need to, great that you've got Mr. Pickles, the parrot. I feel like you need to get some ring surveillance going on here. Or move house, however long your tenancy is. If you've bought the house, get a ring doorbell. Simply move and buy somewhere without an attic. Do you know what I mean? But well done for leaving your marriage. This is super duper scary, but all the validation you needed. I don't know what to suggest. From here. Yeah, you sound like you're coping quite well, to be fair. You don't need advice from a simple woman like myself and a little teacup like Joe. Joe's actually had a stalker before, haven't you, Joe? This fucking weird little teaspoon thing that kept following him round. Kept saying that she wanted to clink his sides. What the fuck's that about? Imagine saying that to Joe. He gets a little bit of fame from this podcast, and next thing you know, all the teaspoons want him. Bless his little soul. Joe actually had to go to the police. It was a real ordeal. We don't like talking about it too much because it really threw him off. Anyway, let's move on to story number 2. Next up, we've got some workplace drama. This is titled, I slept with my boss's husband and she doesn't know yet. Story time. Okay, so before anyone comes for me, let me just say I genuinely had no idea. It all started on Saturday night. I was freshly dumped, freshly wine drunk, and freshly wearing a dress that I probably couldn't afford. My friends had dragged me to this stupid fancy rooftop bar to raise my vibration. Whoa, let's get it on. Da, da. Whatever that means. And I was fully prepared to cry in the toilets by 11 p.m. This is when I met Steve. He was tall and handsome, articulate in the way that he had studied abroad and wouldn't shut up about it kind of way. We chatted about everything and anything, films, we were both really into vintage photography, our childhood trauma. It was cute, right? And the ethics of adopting a raccoon. That's so niche. The ethics of adopting a raccoon. It was one of those weirdly perfect nights where time blurs and your brain tricks you into thinking, maybe I'm in a movie right now. Hell yeah! We ended back at a hotel. It was a sleek boutique one. It had a really expensive smelling lobby that he had booked. The night was good. Maybe I'm not broken after my ex type of good. I didn't know his last name. There was no small talk, just vibes and room service the next morning that he ordered for me. He told me that he needed to leave first. He asked me to check out with the room key and didn't even leave his number. It felt clean. The fun was over. It was a clean cut off. Yeah, just cheeky little one night stand, get some free pancakes out of the gaff. Cut to Monday morning. I'm waking up and going into my new job. It was my first day at my dream role in my dream company. I had been manifesting this place for ages. It had been on my mood board for years. I'd stalked the CEO on LinkedIn for years, finding out loads of little nuggets of information that I made sure to include in my application. Okay, Queen. That is such a good shout, because then you know that you're hitting all the pillars, the key ethos of the company. Her name was Amy. She was fierce, powerful. She was a strong, independent woman and everything I wanted to be in 5 years. If I somehow learned to manage how to reply to an email without wanting to cry first. Amy greets me like an absolute boss bitch. She's wearing this cream power suit that says, I own the building and your soul. She's like Miranda Priestley. She pulls me into a welcome meeting and says, you're going to go far from what I hear. I can just feel it. That's lovely. After the betrayal I imagine you've had from your ex, to this crazy whirlwind romance you've had over the weekend, to now you're being told by Miranda Priestley that you feel like you can be the new... What's the girl's name? Oh. No, that's it, Emily. You could be the new Emily. Emily. She means you. Oh. Yeah, that was such a good impression. Devil Wears Prada is my all-time favourite film. Emily. And then she says, oh, you've got to meet my husband. He's consulting with us on a new rebrand at the minute. He'll be helping with some of your projects. So it'd be good for you to get to know each other. And in walks Steve. Oh, don't you worry, Amy. I got to know Steve very well over the weekend. I think I blacked out for a short second because all I could do was stare at this man and he stared back. She looked at me and I looked at him. He looked at me and I looked at him. All we did was stare at each other. There was a horrific 1.5 seconds of eye contact where both of our souls screamed, oh, hell no, in unison. Amy is still talking. She has absolutely no idea of the situation. She says Steve used to work in branding for a luxury design firm. You'll love him. Oh, yeah, I do love him. I love him when he paid for my pancakes and adopting a raccoon. What else did you talk about that night? Childhood trauma. I wonder if she knows all the trauma. It's like Married at First Sight when Sierra wouldn't tell Billy the childhood trauma, but she told Adrian instead. Niche references for all. Wow. I stand there trying not to throw up instantly. The worst part is Steve played it so cool. He was psychopathic with how cool he was. He gives me a polite nod and says, nice to meet you. I almost laugh and says, nice to meet you, babe. We met naked. Don't act like this is new. Later that day, I get a text from an unknown number saying, please don't tell her. It was a mistake. Eh? Well, yeah. First of all, it was a mistake because you shagged me whilst you got a wife, right? Second of all, I'm bloody good in bed. Third of all, those pancakes were the only thing that we ate that night. Can I get a hell yeah? Hell yeah. No, it's a mistake. We were ordering post-hookup waffles. I thought it was pancakes. And we're telling me about your favourite hiking trails, getting all naturistic with it. It sure didn't feel like a mistake to me. Meanwhile, Amy's texting me inspirational quotes and tagging me in hashtag girl boss memes. I girl bossed your motherfucking husband. She told me at lunch that she sees herself in me. So did your husband. So did your husband. And wants to mentor me. I nearly cried, mostly of guilt, but still. So now I'm stuck, morally superglued to a horrible secret. I didn't mean to sleep with my boss's husband, but I did. And now he's begging me to stay quiet while she's out here believing in my potential. Do I say nothing and climb the corporate ladder with the guilt that's hanging around me? Or do I come clean, torch my career and ruin a woman's marriage? Or is there a third option here where I invent time travel, go back to a bar, tell Steve to go flirt with someone else and go home and cry on my own? Right now, I can't even look at the team Slack without breaking out in a full sweat. So yeah, that's how I managed to become both the main character and the villain on my first day on the job. What do I do? Well, don't tell your boss. Do not tell your boss. From what I can tell, this is not a new activity for Steve. This is not something that he is flippant about. My guy knew what he was doing. He booked that hotel knowing full well his wifey, Amy, thinks that he is at a conference for corporate fashion men. Okay? I bet it's a regular spot. I bet the fucking staff at the reception are like, oh, fucking hell, here's Steve again, new bird on his shoulder. Wonder if his wife knows. I bet he's got a credit card that Amy does not know about that he's charging all of these things to. Do not tell her at all. That is such a bad idea. Awful, awful, awful idea. Things are going really well. She clearly wants to mentor you. Let her mentor you. He's not going to tell Amy. No one's going to find out. Don't tell anyone, right? Don't tell a single soul about this. So something you keep to yourself. If you've told your friends already, they cannot bring this up at any circumstance. You can be in this job, get everything you need to out of it. You've already got everything out of Steve that you needed to. Blackmail the bastard. How can we blackmail Steve? He's consulting. How do we consult? Yeah, I think we need to keep Steve on side as well. Because Steve can be in his wife's ear. Not a fan of that. Not a fan of that, Stacey. I saw her slacking a little bit earlier. She sweats a lot on the job. Every time there's a message that needs to be replied to on Slack, dripping in sweat. Weirdo. We don't need the office sweater. Do you know what I mean? Keep Amy on side. You just need to keep both of them sweet. No. My mind went somewhere then, and I fear I will retract from it. Climb the corporate ladder, do everything you can, get Amy on side, fly the nest, fly free and proud. But congratulations on your new job, and I wish that everything goes well. If anything else happens, please do update me. I'd love to know how it goes. Love you. Alrighty. Next up, my best friend's fiance has been hitting on me. Story time. So Amy and I go way back. We were in uni dorms together and everything was literally perfect. She was always the type to cry at rom-coms while I made sarcastic comments about the plot holes and the lighting issues. We were total opposites but soul sisters in every way. I genuinely thought we'd be bridesmaids for each other's weddings one day and we'd buy houses across the road from each other and I'd call her children my nephews and nieces. So when she got engaged to Steve last year, I was so happy for her. I really properly was happy for her. Even though I'd only met him a few times and he always gave off, I don't know, like slightly smug energy. I've read one feminist book, so now I'm enlightened, he once said. Whatever that means. He treated her well, made her laugh, and supported her financially, emotionally, and physically, which is rare in this economy. Anyway, fast forward to last weekend. We're at their engagement dinner. They'd rented this big house in the countryside for all of their friends and family. Everyone's a little bit tipsy and the love is glowing. Everyone's getting compliments about how they are the perfect match, and I'm genuinely having a really, really good time. Amy then gets a little bit too crazy with it and spills some red wine on herself. She laughs it off and runs upstairs to get change. I head to the kitchen to grab some of the canapes that had been laid out on the table. And this is when Steve follows me. Fucking hell, Steve. At first, I thought nothing of it. Maybe he was just also wanting to get a little hors d'oeuvre. Hors d'oeuvre. Hors d'oeuvre. What a fantastic word. Hors d'oeuvre. What the hell is an hors d'oeuvre? Let's have a look. Hors d'oeuvre. Food. A small item served before dinner, often accompanied by a cocktail. Ah, such as finger food. Oh, lovely. A little arancini ball. I love arancini. Right. He leans in a little bit too close. Bearing in mind, we've met this man, a handful of times? Does anyone else find that strange? Your best friend's fiancé you've only met a few times. Is that strange to anyone else? Do you think that's strange? I think that's strange. Unless you're living like distances apart, but still. He leans in a little too close. I can feel his breath on my neck. Get your fucking hors d'oeuvre breath off me. To start, I can smell the sour cream and chive dip. He says, dead in my ear, if I'd met you first, I think it would have been you with my ring on her finger. I'd have punched him square in the face. Ew! Ew! It sounds like my guy's read Akatar and thought that he's fucking God's gift to Rhysand. Do you know what I mean? I literally laughed in his face because what else do you do in that situation? I really did think he was joking. It was some sort of awkward attempt at making some inside banter and joke between us, but that wasn't on. Then, he puts his hand on my lower back. A weirdly specific spot that says this is an intentional move. Oh, it was deliberate. Then he walks away like nothing had happened. Back to the party, back to toasting Amy with her parents, smiling like a man who hasn't just completely detonated my entire brain. I stood in that kitchen for like 2 whole minutes processing everything, replaying everything I did in my head. Did I misread it? Did he mean it as a compliment? Did he think it was okay? Did I do something wrong? No. You went in to get a canapé, an arancini bowl. You did not say, hey, Steve, come fiddle with my back muscles. You did not say that. You did not say, come and breathe down my spine, come and be inappropriate with me. You did not look at him in a weird way. You just literally got up after speaking to your friend and went to quell your hunger. You did nothing wrong here, my love. The worst part, the very next day, Amy sends me a picture of her wedding dress saying you're going to be the prettiest maid of honor ever. She was absolutely beaming and she is living a beautiful fantasy life thinking she has the perfect engagement. And I was just sitting there knowing that her fiancé literally propositioned me 12 hours earlier. So now I am really stuck on what to do. This is so icky. This is so icky. Because you have been put in the most awkward position here. It comes down to what yours and Amy's friendship can handle, I think. If you have the type of relationship with Amy where you could go to her and you could say, I need to speak to you about something. It's really, really awkward. I need you to know that I'm in absolute turmoil about this. Like if it was me and my sister, I feel like I could sit her down. If it was me and Sophia or any of the girls, I feel like I could be like, and they could, you know, trust that this is the truth. Whereas we all have them people in your life where you feel like you could go and they'd be like, you're just trying to ruin this for me. You know, it really comes down to what that is. I don't think that you could sit at that wedding with a clear mind, knowing that you haven't warned her in some way. Even, I don't know, it's so difficult. This is where we need surveillance in the houses. You know, this is where we need, it sounds like you and her are so tight and you have a lot of respect and trust for each other that you could have that conversation with her. You just need to approach it with a lot of sensitivity. Because she could go 2 ways with this. You never know. There may have been circumstances in the past where Amy has seen this type of behaviour from him, whether they're at a bar or she's heard it from other people. And this is just final confirmation, because for him to do it with her best friend, that comes a level of confidence and a level of comfortability. That's a good, yeah. He does this. This is something that Steve does without a thought. Even Right, here's the thing. To put a hand on her back, excuse me, just squeezing past, that's my no-no square. Get out of it. Just say excuse me, or upper shoulders. It's like from the waist down, no. It wasn't a busy room. You were in a room together on your own. He got up and followed you. He targeted you. Weird. Weird. Okay? I think you need to tell Amy. Especially if you're going to be the maid of honour. That feels like the right thing to do. Because otherwise, you're going to be sat there when that woman goes, does anyone have any reason? What? You're going to be sat there with this voice screaming at you, being like, yeah, to do it with her best friend is so evil, you know? I personally would not talk to anyone else about this. I would just go straight to Amy. Straight to Amy. I'm trying to think if there's any way you can prove it because he's just going to deny. So I'm wondering if this type of behaviour has been brought to her attention in the past. I'm so sorry. This is such a shit situation that you've had this man breathing his chive breath on you and that he's touched you when you didn't want to be touched. For a relationship that is not formed, you're not close, you don't know this man. So, yeah, I'm really, really sorry. Because it's also a really special moment for you. Your best friend's getting married. So I hope everything goes okay and that chat goes good. But I would approach it sensitively on her own when Steve is nowhere to be seen. Like, I don't want that man walking in when you're having this conversation because that's just not going to end well. But yeah, wishing you all the best, my love. This one sounds a little bit sticky, my dudes. I'm in love with my childhood best friend. The only problem is he's getting married. Story time. Ooh! Steve and I met when we were 6. We'd play out together and my mum is like his mum is like my mum. We had made a promise to each other that if we weren't both married by 30, we would marry each other. He was always just my Steve, until he was no longer my Steve and he was someone else's. Somehow along the way, I'd started to notice the way his laugh made my stomach flip or how he always knew when something was wrong, even if I hadn't said a word. But I never said anything to him because we were best friends and I didn't want to ruin the one person who had been the constant my entire life. Then came Amy. Amy is the most beautiful and confident girl. She's the type of person you see immediately and you know she would just give the world for someone. He introduced us at a barbecue and I swear, I felt my heart drop. I smiled, I played nice, but that's what you do, right? They started dating. They moved in together. Then one night he called me, slurring, tipsy, and a little bit too sentimental, saying, do you know? Oh my God. He said, do you know that you're my favourite person in the whole world? You know that, right? Oh my God. Imagine the person you loved deeply and had done for years, who has a girlfriend calling you like, you're my favourite person. The fireworks, the film of it all, the romance movie of it all. Oh my God, wow. I wanted to scream, then why aren't you the only one I come home to? But I didn't. Fast forward to now, years later, I'm helping him pick out his cufflinks for his wedding. I tried to be happy. I told myself I was happy, but last week, something horrific happened. He hugged me goodbye, same as always, but this time, he held on a little bit longer. He lingered. He looked at me like he knew how I felt, and for a second, I swore he was going to say something. Then, Amy called his name, and that was just that. The moment was gone. I feel I'm going to cry. So here I am, smiling in dress fittings, holding back tears in bridal shops, rehearsing my maid of honour speech. Ugh. But truthfully, I am dying inside. People always say if it's meant to be, it'll be. But what if you're living in the wrong timeline? What if your forever person is standing right in front of you wearing someone else's wedding ring? What do you do then? I think this is above my pay grade. Joe, any thoughts? The romance in me wants to say something. But we hear about the girl best friends all the time. But Amy must be pretty tight with you to have you as her maid of honor, which, that's even worse. It's him. It's his actions. Is he wanting someone to give him an out? A reason? Is he wanting to break this off, but he doesn't want to break off his marriage, his engagement for a woman that doesn't feel the same? I think you've got to say something. I really do think you've got to say something. Even if Steve would not be doing these things, there's a difference between a friendship hug and a linger from a friendship hug. There's a difference between, I'm so happy for you, this is a meaningful hug to a friend, than a bye, you know? Oh, you've got to say something. You have got to say something before the wedding, like as soon as you possibly can. But you need to be prepared for that to either make or break yours and Steve's relationship. And also, even though you've been friends for all these years does not mean that you will be good in a relationship. These are all things you've got to think about. I think Steve loves you. But maybe he's just been too scared to admit that or ruin the friendship. I don't know. Can you speak to your mum about this? I think the mum would be a good... His mum? No. Listen, if his mum didn't like Amy, then quids in, let's get Bertha involved. I think you need to speak to your mum about this, or your sister, someone that is like blood related, you know? Or if you've got like a real best friend. Yeah, you need to tell him. He knows. Come on. But you just got to be prepared for a lot of people to dislike you. You know, you're potentially going to ruin a wedding. But imagine, the thing is, right, if Steve really does have feelings for you, he is not going to be able to hold that down his whole life. He can love the idea of marrying this Amy, like she's clearly incredible, like you say, and you see how good they are together, but he's not going to be able to withhold these feelings for you his whole life. I think, what a shit situation for you both. This is why sometimes you've got to drunkenly kiss your best mate at 18 to get this shit out the way. Because you could be married with 6 kids at this point. What a shit situation. I'm really excited, but also dreading if we get an update on this. Whew. Girl. Let us know, I guess. Let us know. Thoughts and prayers. Peace and love. Love and hugs. Kisses and hugs. Keep us updated, please, whichever way this goes. Love you, babe. Oh my God, guys, I've just found this in the inbox. My mum tried to adopt my baby. Story time. I'm going to go ahead and assume without permission. So, I had a baby girl about a year ago. It was a total surprise pregnancy. It was really, really scary for a fair few months. I was 22, living with my mum, who we will call Bertha. From the minute I told Bertha, I can tell this has gone shit because you're calling your mum by her name. Not. Yep. From the minute I told Bertha I was pregnant, she switched up this weird energy. It's like she was the one expecting. She bought the cot. She planned the nursery. She referred to the baby as her baby, which, okay, some grandmas, I get it. But I brushed it off. Yeah, because they're like, oh, my baby. Yeah, I get that. Fast forward to when I gave birth. I'm not even kidding you. Bertha posted the announcement before I did. Sackable offence from Madre. Sackable offence. That is god awful. Who even does that? It was a photo of her holding the baby, captioned, "Welcome to the world, little angel. Nana's gonna love you forever." Okay. You couldn't have waited fucking 10 minutes for me to post about it. I told her off. She cried a lot. Said I was hormonal. Right. Yeah, well, babe, I've just shoved a child through my vagina. Of course I'm going to be a little tetchy for a short period of time. What do you mean? You're supposed to support me. This is when things got absolutely feral. So I started getting letters in the mail from social services. What? Hell no. It was really strange stuff like confirmation of custody application, upcoming home evaluation. I'm like, what is going on? I never applied for any of this. Turns out you are not ready for this. Bertha submitted an application paperwork document for my daughter. She claimed that I was unstable, not present, and emotionally unfit. She used postpartum therapy visits as evidence as to why I was not a fit mother. That is evil. That is absolutely vile behaviour. When I confronted her on this, she had the nerve to say it's for the best. You weren't meant to be a mother. You're still a child yourself. I am shaking, crying and screaming, all of it. Thank God the caseworker saw through it, and I had text receipts and videos of everything. They shut it down fast, but the betrayal of it all, I'm still unpacking it. How do you come back from your own mum trying to legally steal your baby? She still sends birthday gifts, still signs them from mummy number 2. She needs to be arrested? I don't know what the crime would be. Wasting time? It's not police time, social services time, making a false report. I'm so glad social services saw through that. That is also a testament to you as a mother, because it's so hard to be a single parent, to keep you alive, to keep your baby alive, to keep you happy, healthy, and, a full human being. This woman, you need to get restrained. You need to actually, I know I joke about this quite often, you need to take legal action here. A restraining order, non-molestation order. I believe you can get a non-molestation order within 24 hours of filing a report. Please protect you and your baby against this woman, because clearly she still has this intention and this addiction to becoming her mom, to be calling him mommy number 2. No! You're a grandmother. Take your title and run with it, right? Bertha, take it and run far, far away to some sort of medical facility where you don't have access to the outside world. I'm being serious, you need to be careful, because this woman she's scaring me. She could do anything. Did you know about that woman that it was on Bad Roommates? Worst Roommates on Netflix? Okay, side quest. Basically, this woman she fell pregnant really unexpectedly, and her roommate was like, "No worries, babe, like, I'll support you. This is a sisterhood. It takes a village." They were really, really good roommates. When the woman had the baby, she was quite unwell afterwards. She'd had a C-section. And they were having to there was something, I can't remember. She'd injured herself somehow. And I think it was on her back, maybe, this injury was. And she was having to rub this ointment on it to keep it clean. So the roommate was rubbing the ointment on, blah, blah, blah. She'd take the child out on walks to take it to nap, put it down to bed, make sure it was fed whilst the mum was recovering from this injury or whatever it was. Anyway, the mum wasn't getting any better at all. Social services kept being called because the mum was like bedridden, sofas like all day long. And the roommate would be like, "No, like, it's fine. She's healing, sticking up for her as a witness almost." But social services kept coming. And this wound on the woman, social services started to become a bit concerned for the mum more than anything, because they were coming around weeks on time and this woman was not getting any better. So they flipped her onto her front one time to check her back, and her back was an absolute mess. Here's the damn thing. Turns out the roommate was the one calling social services because she was trying to steal the baby, and she was trying to off the mum with an ointment she had bought off the dark web that was a flesh-eating bacteria. So this wound treatment was actually this bacterial, actually eating cream. How terrifying is that? How bloody awful. So I fear your mum could end up like this, rubbing flesh-eating cream on you if you're not careful. Please, please, please take legal action. There is so many resources online. I wonder if you could even ring Refuge if you're UK based, like the domestic abuse helpline. Definitely consult the police on this though, please, please. If you do one thing today, for you and your baby's sake, you're doing a brilliant job as a single mum. Rely on the other women around you. You can do this. I believe in you. Mwah. Guys, this one is a belter, an absolute revenge story of the century. It's titled, I Knew My Husband Was Cheating on Me, so I reversed him. Story time. My husband, who we'll call Steve, has been acting really, really off. It started with the telltale signs of cheating, such as him taking his phone everywhere with him. He even changed his phone password from my birthday to a code that he will not now tell me. He would come home a little bit later from work drinks, and he suddenly developed a skincare routine at the ripe age of 39. My guy, who I have been with since high school, has had the same 3-in-1 shampoo since college. Don't play. At first, I thought I was just a little bit paranoid, but one night, when it was overwhelming me, I got to snooping, and I noticed a Tinder notification pop up on his iPad. Not the iPad. The iPad, which by the way was synced to the contacts on his phone, and he doesn't know how to turn off the cloud. Naturally, I had a cheeky little look. And I caught him messaging many, many women. That is when I took plans into my own hands. The following week, he started talking to a blonde yoga instructor named Amy. She was super hot, 28 years old, and she had a spiritual quote in her bio that said, Namaste and protein shakes. Love you, Amy. She was not my type of girl at all, but I knew for a fact she was Steve's type. Their messages were intense, flirty, and emotional. He told her he felt alive when speaking to her, and for the first time in years he was truly happy. He told her that he felt he was trapped in his marriage with someone who did not see him. Which, to start, sir, I see you every day, and I see you leaving your socks on the kitchen counter every night. But what really got me was that he started to pull away from me. Shorter conversations, no more forehead kisses, and don't even get me started on the dead bedroom situation. He was emotionally checked out, and I knew this. His whole brain was off dreaming about this imaginary Amy woman. Then, randomly, after reading the text for a while, Amy ghosted him. She deleted her profile and vanished into thin air. I've never seen him spiral harder than he started to spiral. This man, who once said that emotions were for girls, is now moping around the house like someone has unplugged his whole life and is watching it drain from him. He didn't go to work. He even had 4 sick days. He's been sitting on the couch all day, scrolling through his phone, hoping that she'll appear, and refreshes every time it hits the bottom. This man has been crying. He does not cry. He's crying over a girl he never met, a fantasy, a filtered selfie, and a fake name. And I've been sitting here watching it all play out, letting him fall to pieces, letting him feel every ounce of heartbreak he is willing to put me through. I bet you're wondering now, though, how I know all of this information. It must be really hard to read through all of the messages, right? How do I know that she loved having mango smoothies and hated loud chewers? How do I know that her favourite film was Amelie, even though Steve had to Google what that was? Let me tell you, everyone, that's because I am Amy. Every message, every emoji, that was me. I created the fake profile to catch him in the act and break his heart like he was breaking mine. So now I'm wondering, and I'd like to know what you guys all think. Do I tell him? Or, even more fun, do I let him cry over this girl he thought was his soulmate, not knowing that it was in fact his wife the whole time? Absolutely incredible work there, my love. That's what we call proactive revenge. Joe's off his feet. He's off his tits. Standing ovation from us all. What a move. That was planned, calculated, coordinated. What's the next move? I think let it drag on. Let it drag on. Drag on, I say. Dragon. I think you need to let him stew. Let him think. Let his heart break as much as yours is. Let's play that game. And then I think you need to have a long, hard look in the mirror and think, do you want to stay with this man? Because realistically, how old are you now? Steve's 39. You've been together since high school. So, 20 years you've been together? That's a very, very long time. Do you want to let it go? Or do you want to... You're either going to have to go to counselling or you're going to have to break up with him. Because he's not going to trust you. You don't trust him. I'd let him stew in it and then I'd tell him. And then whilst you tell him, I'd serve divorce papers if you do want to divorce this motherfucker. Brilliant. I bet it was so much fun cosplaying that woman. Absolute fun. I'd love to know more about how you got the profile going. Did you get a stock AI? Are we creating AI women now? Is that a thing? I wouldn't know. I don't create online profiles. Fantastic. Do you even like smoothies? Or have you just gone, what's the complete fucking opposite of me? Please do update me with those details. We'd love to know what you decide to do. No rush. Take your time. These things take time. That story was sent in a little while ago as well, so I wonder if all of this has gone down and this information is probably not even that helpful to you at all. But yeah, please do keep us updated, and I hope you're okay. This is really, really heartbreaking for you too, but you actioned that. Spot a 10-10, no notes, you're hired. Well done, my girl. Hopefully hear from you soon. Love you very much. Stay positive, keep shining. Mwah. And that, my guys, I feel like it's a good place to end today. That was a belter. I feel like we've not had a revenge story like that in time. But yeah, thank you for listening to today's episode, everybody. I will see you next week. If you would like to send in any stories, head over to our socials. It is the top link in the bio. You can click send in a story, send in your pics, send in anything you want. Send your stories. I love reading it all. Me and Joe are going to miss you all very, very much. Thank you so much for listening. Please do like, subscribe, comment, all of that fun stuff, and I will see you next week. Bye. Bye.
Fill my cup. Am I really asking for much? It's been a long week, I'm looking for fun. Please fill my cup. Find me under the sun. SOS, I'm just looking for a good time. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. And I'm singing like, whoa.